Welcome. It looks like I have full audio for a change. How's everybody doing? I got my little buddy here today. Look at this. How cool is this? Can you guys see it? You can't see it yet. Maybe you can. You can see it. Got some music playing, the wonderful ambient noise of Restream. I've got my shiny goggles on. What's going on? Welcome to Let's Talk Tridactyls. I'm your host, Mr. Ed, former archaeologist and paleontological technician for the Graves Museum of Archaeology and Natural History. The now defunct museum, probably my most favorite job in my whole history of employment. So it is unfortunate that through some government malfeasance, we were unable to stay open. Look at this thing. Isn't this great? This is a life-size printed Tridactyl. How cool is that? Gives everyone like a true idea. I know we see pictures of them and whatnot of how big these things or how small these things actually were. What can we say about this little guy here? Well, it's actually more of a female, isn't it? This is Josephina. We've got Low Temp Studios saying, hello, non-human intelligence ladies and gents. Thank you for showing up. Appreciate that. Very cool. Very cool. We have any news? We've got some news. I guess we got Dr. Fung. But what are we looking at here, people? So we have a better idea. So obviously this is humanoid in form, isn't it? But there's a lot of things about this that is clearly not primate. Maybe one of the first things is this furcula, this clavicle, or I guess you could say it's two clavicles. I'm not sure on this one, actually. Is it two clavicles that are fused together? That might be a better way of putting it. But I like to use the term furcula because it's a term that a lot of people do know. Furcula is a wishbone, so you see it on Thanksgiving. It's found in birds. It's found in theropod dinosaurs. And it's right where these implants are found. And of course, on this guy here, this gal, the implants aren't that clear looking. Maybe what we can do is pull up some other pictures of these implants so you can get a better view of those. How about that? We got Fat Jesus coming in later today. I'm sure he'll tell us some stories of perhaps giants and shadow beings and who knows what. You know, we meet Wednesdays also on X for a nice chat besides this video chat here. And both shows go for anywhere from an hour or more. I try to do at least an hour. So that's cool. Every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern on X, and every 7 p.m. here Sunday. And if you want more information on what I do, you can always go to tridactyls.com. And let's see, we got a nice slide here of Josephina to show you. So that's what we're looking at here. This exact specimen. And you can see Josephina also has eggs in her, right? Let's see if we can get a better, do a little maneuvering around here. How many windows do you guys have at home? I use 3. I think maybe Mr. Jesus might use 3 too. I'll have to ask him. Let's get another view here. How about that? All right. Let's go to share the screen. This way we have both here. We have both myself and the X-ray there. I don't probably have to be as big, do I? There we go. Cool. So yeah, there's Josephina with a better view of those implants. There's not a lot of answers to the implants. I have my own theories that these furcula on these beings seem to be damaged. I haven't heard many theories on why people think they're damaged. I think they're damaged because they are compromised by what I suggest are the larval forms that have hatched from the eggs. And unfortunately, due to that diatomaceous earth that you see covering them, which, by the way, they have been removing the diatomaceous earth, so you can start to see the real flesh. You can see some variance in colors in the beings, from a gray to a red, which are depicted in the Nazca ceramics, gray tridactyls and red tridactyls. So it looks like they're likely oviviparous, I should say. So I suggest that these eggs are hatching within these larval forms. Why do I say larval forms? There seems to be some evidence of these being amphibians. You know, cursory evidence is simply those feet and those hands, those 3 fingers. We do have amphibians, and we do have, what are they called? These subterranean salamanders and frogs. Some of them do have 3 fingers and 3 toes. So there's that evidence. It's very possible they don't have lungs, so that would make them cutaneous breathers. And if they're cutaneous breathers, you know, that implies cutaneous waste disposal as well. And if they're getting rid of waste cutaneously, that waste might be an ammonia substance, which, who knows? You know, there's been plenty of documented smells associated with gray aliens, and as well as so-called devils and demons from history. So what else about the amphibious nature? You know, an early study found sodium chloride, salt crystals in their skull, which indicated a beginning of life in saline. So that's interesting. It would be brackish water amphibians. Not a lot of amphibians I know of are starting off in salt water. So that's something different, isn't it? And what else can we say about amphibianism? Well, Maria looks like, to me, she has a what I call a Euro style, which is a fused lower tail. I wonder if we have any slides of that. Just zipping through things right now. There's so many things to see. I do have to do my slideshow over because I'm going to be doing a lecture this week for the local MUFON. That's the Mutual UFO Network. So I'm super excited about that. So I hope to have all my ducks in order, or my amphibians, and get ready for that lecture. I do want to show a couple pictures that other people were posting. There are plenty of people that are interested in this topic now. There is various sites out there. There's, of course, Gonzalo Chavez, who runs Tridactyls.org. He just got back from the Boogosphere. There's this young lady who's very concerned about the Peruvian heritage, as she should be. She wants to make sure that the Peruvians are encouraged, or at least taken into this whole discovery, and they're not left behind. And she goes by the name of No Pasaran. What does that mean? Anyone know? Help me out there. And so she's been posting the various studies of Dr. Fung, and he's doing some wonderful work on the feet. So why don't we take a look at that? Look at some of Dr. Fung's feet work here. We can maybe go full screen for that. I think that would be nice, wouldn't it? Let's see. Can we go even fuller screen? How do you go full screen? Oh, I'm about to call this person. Not sure for some reason. How do you go full screen on TikTok? Is that a thing? So anyway, this is Fung's great images of the feet. I mean, it's actually not his images. Someone else took the scans. Show you a very unique foot structure, very lengthy phalanges on these. And of course, Sebastian's implant. There is some discussion of if there is writing on the back of that implant or not. I don't think there is, personally. To me, it looks like the bore marks on the other side of the implant are actually coming through. How are we doing on time? We've only been on 11 minutes. We'll bring on Mr. Jesus in like another 4 minutes, if that's cool. See what he has to say about things. Right now, so yeah, we're looking at this young lady. I don't know I think she might be Peruvian. I think it's important just to point out to you guys that what's happening is that this is slowly growing. This is slowly becoming a global phenomenon. I think a lot of people are very skeptical nowadays. You know, we have a lot of lying politicians, and we have CGI and AI fooling people nowadays. And I think it's sort of a prideful thing that people don't want to get fooled. So they might take it to an extreme. And it's easy to just dismiss this. It's easy to dismiss this and take the word of perhaps one so-called expert, but to woefully ignore the words of many other experts out there. I say for every skeptic, there's probably 20 medical doctors that disagree with your skeptic, and there's evidence of that, right? What else? What else? What else? So I mentioned Fung, Dr. Fung. He's doing some incredible work. I don't agree with everything he says. He says there's piercings of perhaps that these beings were murdered. I would like to see a more reputable forensics doctor confirm or deny that personally. And what else? I don't know. Any questions or comments out there? I see we got Low Temp Studios. Anybody else want to jump in? What else can we say? Oh, I know what I want to show you guys. I wanted to talk a little bit about the cultural implications. So when I look at the petroglyphs, and I look at archaeologists who've looked at these petroglyphs long before the Tridactyls were a thing. And what most of the archaeologists say about these three-fingered petroglyphs, that many times they're found with smaller beings depicted with a larger being, sometimes with the heart-shaped face, sort of surrounding that smaller being. And so it made archaeologists suggest that those were mother goddess images, which is interesting because to the Maori, these same sort of tiki beings are considered ancestors. And then if you look to the Syrian eye idols, well, they consider those fertility symbols. And then even on Easter Island, there is depictions of Make, which is a creator god. So all of these things are sort of pointing in one direction, which is that these beings, at least were considered by the ancients to be fertility symbols, mother goddesses. Oh, we have Mr. Bentley's asking for some good boy food. Probably a good time to bring on Mr. Jesus here. I'm going to have him talk so I can give my dog some food. I tried to like keep him at bay with some snacks, but no such luck. So yeah, here's some of these beings that I've been talking about. I mean, you ask me, some of those are just dead on tridactyl depictions. I think we're past the point of saying coincidence. You know, that's the problem with, I think, the archaeology is that people are giving these different labels. Archaeologists in one part of the world are calling them like mask beings or again, fertility beings, when in actuality, it's all the same phenomena. These images are found across the world. Some of the most detailed are probably the dogu of the Ainu of Japan, which are also found with the Magatama. The Magatama are very similar to the Hongshan pig dragons. It was these pig dragons that led me to believe that the ancients were well aware of this metamorphic process. You can see the large eyes, and it looks like even the wide flared head. So definitely take a look at those if you're doing your research. Look up the Magatama, which are definitely considered fertility symbols, mind you. I think they're a precursor to our Paisley. Think about that. All right, so we're going to bring on Mr. Jesus now, and he's going to entertain you.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Fat Jesus Live. How you doing, everybody?
I am doing well. Give me a couple minutes. I'd like you to go ahead and talk to the audience, if you don't mind.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Man, that is incredible. Thank you so much, Professor Ed Casas. Well, it is 80 degrees here on the East Coast of the United States. I'm out of Virginia right now, and it is warm as it can be. It went from 30 degrees and it is 80 degrees now, and it's incredibly hot. all along the coastline right now. I mean, the weather is crazy, isn't it? How many people have already experienced a UFO out there? Can you imagine that? Like unidentified flying objects, and we're not talking about SpaceX rocket. And I have to tell you, it's amazing. And I'm not a really big fan of Elon Musk, and he's not really the engineer that created the rocket landing, like like the Martian, from the cartoons. The rocket just lands. It's just incredible. That rocket just lands on its legs. I mean, I lived in an era where rockets would land with a parachute or not even at all. It would just be thrown away and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars would just be tossed out the door, like, or it'll just be burned in the atmosphere or whatever the thing is, or they'll just leave it in space and it'll be just be junk or something. I don't know what the deal was, but the thing is that we just forget about it. But nowadays it just comes straight back down and they get to reuse it. So reusability is a big it's possible nowadays, and it's incredible. Now there's a bunch of satellites now too, and they're putting more and more satellites around the earth. It's incredible. So I mean, it's I think it's going to be a lot harder to tell if you're seeing a UFO or you're seeing a satellite or you're seeing a rocket, because rocket launches are periodically. They're launching like almost every day. So you have to tell the difference. Um uh I was researching today and yesterday. I was researching more of the lore and the mythology of giants, especially with David and Goliath. And I was quite interested in the Philistines. And I was like, they probably do exist, because so many different societies and cultural societies have talked about giants. And there's no way that they don't exist unless people were really tiny, you know? Like, what if everybody was like only 3 feet tall and then somebody appears to you, they're 6 foot tall, then everybody else is a giant to you. And so everybody around the world is 3 foot. Then, of course, anybody that appears to you at 6 foot tall would be considered a giant. But that's not the case. Majority of the people around the world are over 5 foot tall. And in this case, a giant is well over around 10 feet or higher. Have to be. I mean, they're talking about a massive tower of a being with two arms, two legs, and all that stuff. But then I was looking for a giant with one eye. That's where things got really complicated. A giant with one eye. Well, I had to get the help of AI because AI said, nah, that's not possible, because a giant with one eye is mythological, at best science fiction. It's it's something out of Dungeons and Dragon. And the reason why the equilibrium of a one eye being would be completely off on the body. It has to have two eyes. It has two arms, has two legs, it has the five fingers, the five toes, five toes. There's a reason why the the body has all these appendages and everything, has it asymmetrically set up, because it's the balance factor. And if we had a physiologist, someone that uh, a doctor of physiology with us right now, they can explain how the human body works, or how a bipedal human being moves, and how a being like that cannot exist, because one eye, the person would be completely off balance. And when you think about it, the brain also is in half too. So you have the left brain and you got the the right brain.
The left and right brain.
Yeah.
Here
So
we are.
where's the left and right eye? So
That's interesting. Yeah, you wouldn't have any depth perception now, would you?
but I threw a loop at AI. I
Oh,
says, well, what if it was twins, conjoined twins, and one twin had one eye and the other twin had another eye,
that's
and
interesting.
they borrowed each other's eye, and one had left brain and the other one had a right brain.
Hmm.
Or maybe they both had a left brain and right brain, but only had one eye and the other one had an eye. Then AI says, okay, now that you said that, AI actually was he wasn't even cordial. It was like, okay, now that you said that, yes, that is possible.
Oh,
AI
wow.
actually said that. It says, now that is absolutely possible now if the conjoined twin. Then I asked AI, is it possible that the brother dies at early birth and then the other one stays alive? My cat has the zoomies now.
There,
This is running back and forth.
there are those people that are born with like a dead twin
Yeah.
within their heads. That's pretty
Yeah.
gory looking. That's
And
crazy.
then you have to think about it. This is now back 3,000 years ago, 3,000, 4,000 years ago now. So now we're like thinking about way in the past. So what if they get rid of the other twin, they cut them out, and they survive not having the conjoined twin connected? Like, they have really good surgeons. They already dealt with this before, because now we're talking about a Nephilim, you know? A
Mm.
Nephilim is half angel, half human. If none of you know what a Nephilim is, it is an angel that has had sex with a human.
Now, if Mr. Rebirth of the Word was here, he would tell you that Nephilim just means the fallen or fallen out.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as I know, I'm not the expert of it. So I wish Rebirth was here. He gives us a better
You know, I
understanding.
have some critiques about giants, because when you look at the Greek depictions in the Basque stone reliefs, the 3D reliefs, sometimes they show the giants with serpentine legs. So they have two snake-like legs. And when you look at the word giant, another way of looking at the etymology of that word is you could say it's Gaia ant. That is, it's of the earth goddess. And so
And you're talking about a Leviathan.
one of the qualities of a giant is that they come from the earth. So I'm always concerned that when we talk of giants being these large beings, I'm concerned that it's a misinterpretation.
Can you imagine something like that even existing?
Well,
With
when you
it's
look at
like
the
an octopus
tridactyl
looking.
hands, the tridactyl big hands that are said to have 6 phalanges, that would be 666. Those are so big that they extrapolating the inches per phalanges, that those might belong to a 7 to 9 foot being. Might be the reptilians that people speak of.
Possibly. As a possibility. And also the tridactyls may have the possibility of camouflaging themselves
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
I would think so. I say funny things like, if you can imagine some of the coolest abilities that animals have, these beings probably have that same ability. So I wouldn't be surprised if they could change color and blend in with an environment. And when you think of how small they are too, I mean, this really sort of fulfills the myths of the dwarfs, the gnomes and elves and fairy folk and all of that stuff. I mean, you imagine these things running around, running past your. How would that look?
Well, there are videos of things like that. They call them cryptids, and they look similar to that. But every video I've seen, it's always blurry. And then they come up with the excuse, "Oh, it's because they make the video
Yeah,
blurry." I'm like, I don't believe anything that's
I
blurry. I
know.
mean,
I know. And I also don't believe any of these videos that, just like I'm showing right now, that only show either the head looking through a window or just the top of the body. Look, I'm well familiar with puppets and puppetry. And so that's concerning to me whenever these post these alien encounter videos and it's just their head peering through
yep.
the window.
And
Now,
now,
me
now
personally,
AI is so
and now we
real
can't believe
too.
anything with AI because AI will take a dead person, take two dead people. I've seen this where like they'll have like, I don't know, Amy
Chuck,
Winehouse,
Chuck Norris, rest in peace.
Chuck Norris, rest in peace. Yeah, well now the way AI is, and especially with someone like Chuck Norris, is that he has so much content, so many movies, so many recordings of his voice that they're literally going to be able to make Chuck Norris movies in the future. In my opinion, I don't,
If he signed off on it, like Bruce Willis did. Bruce Willis signed off on his likeness to the movie industry.
Oh yeah,
So when
was he
he
really
leaves,
aware of himself at the time? I know. Bill
well,
Shatner's been scanned, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him in an
he was
upcoming
he
show.
yeah, he was he actually he signed off on it, and his family agreed and signed off on it too. So
Hmm.
I think he was. I don't know. You're right. Maybe you're right. But I mean, he seems like it. But hey, you know what? Whatever the case, um screw it. I mean, I mean, when you leave this earth, you're not really taking anything with you. So
I know, I
if
know.
your
It's
family,
just the family.
if your family's gonna make money, it's gonna make money, whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
if I'm gonna leave it for my kids, for whatever, man. you know,
exactly. It's the same as like it's no different than like being buried with your money or something.
I mean, what am I gonna cry about it if I'm dead? I'm like, go ahead, use my likeness.
Right.
Am I gonna just come back to life and go, "How dare you?" you know,
Yeah,
whatever. Enjoy.
I
It's for
know.
entertainment, anyway. So I mean, the only thing that's gonna bother anybody is gonna be the living, and it's the family. And if the family agrees to it, then hey, So that's my thinking of that. So,
Hmm.
anyways,
So
if the
yeah,
family's okay with it, but
so we have
man,
Dr.
I
Ken doing some great work out there.
I'm so destroyed about Chuck Norris, and I don't politically, I'm not at the same level of thinking with him, but
Hmm.
on the side of politics, I grew up with him, and I grew up with all the movies and all that stuff, and it's just heartbreaking that he is gone because my life changed so dramatically with all his movies and TV shows. Texas Ranger. Oh
Oh
my god.
yeah, that's right. He did have that TV show.
Oh man. Just all these memories flooded
Walker,
in.
Texas Ranger.
Walker, Texas Ranger. Yeah. Now we remember. Now that he's gone, we start to remember. And why couldn't we just remember when he was alive? But it's just that's how it is, I guess. We start forgetting. And what's her name? Grandma Ross. She's 99 years old,
Who's
and
that?
that's the older lady that does all these TikTok videos. Grandma Ross.
Not
She's
familiar.
she actually met up with Chuck Norris in Hawaii. Flew to Hawaii. She was invited by Chuck Norris and up to his dojo at home, and she did karate and all that. He was teaching her, and she was like really snarky. It's like I could kick his ass.
That's pretty funny.
And he says, "Man, now I'm scared." He was so wonderful with her. It was just fantastic.
Did you see the drama with I believe his name is Ryan Bledsoe? You're familiar with Drew Bledsoe? Is that his name?
I don't remember. If I see a
The
face,
Bledsoe family are the ones that claim to be able to call Chris Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe, I think, is a football player. Chris Bledsoe and his son, I guess. So Chris is famous for he has this book UFO of God, and he believes that he's he's getting some sort of messages from this being called the Lady. And so recently his son came out and said that he was disappointed that
Oh, you got a picture. Look at this.
yeah, I think it's better than just to talk about people. That he was disappointed that his family wasn't mentioned when it came to these spheres. And unfortunately, people kind of all came down on him for that. Some saying that he was egocentrical, that he was cultish in his mentality. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, everything is about references. I'm going to be telling you the truth here. Everybody, when you write a book and you mention about something, don't the references are supposed to be in the back of the book?
Yeah, I mean, some, in like anthropology, we actually, when you quote somebody, you put their last name and the year that quote was made.
What do you call it when someone steals someone's work? What is that called?
I mean, is it I
that-
guess plagiary is one word.
plagiarism, right?
Yeah.
So when you don't put the references of the people, let's say, for instance, when people talk about you and your work, but they don't say your name and they don't reference Tridactyls.com.
I know. I did share
Wouldn't
an
that be
image.
plagiarism?
I did share an ancient image that people don't typically share with the alien phenomena, and this gentleman saw that I shared it, and then he put it in his book, and he didn't provide any. Not that, I mean, it's art that I guess some people could find, but it's not typically shown, and it looks like, when you look at it, it looks like Maria. So
I think it's historically is important to this guy, because down the line historians are going to be like, oh, he was the one that dealt with the orbs, and he coined the phrase this and this.
yeah.
Then historians will get it right, and then all of a sudden he was the first one, and then so and so would be the second one. I don't think it's egotistical. I think it's like trying to get history right or correct.
Yeah, I think everybody wants their just dues. They want credit when.
There you go, credit. Yeah.
And so it is kind of lame to like put out something and someone just snags it without credit. It's true, but we're in this day and age too where that's going to happen a lot, and it's going to happen on a grand scale. So, this topic has already it's exhausting.
Every time I talk on your show, I give credit to a lot of people. Have you not noticed that?
I like to name drop.
I mean, I name drop Praveen. Remember, we talk about Praveen, and
yeah, I use an image from Praveen.
Yeah, we talk about Praveen, and we never met Praveen personally. I never met Praveen, but I feel like I'm like his brother. I mean, like I have met him and talked to him. I feel like spiritually I have met Praveen, and I feel like I'm eye to eye with him on what he speaks about, because I watch his videos and all that stuff. He might be a complete jerk. Who knows?
He's a little out there sometimes.
But aren't we all, when it comes to all this stuff? I mean, we're a bit of Trekkie nerds, so we're out there when we.
So here's this temple guardian, a Yakshini, these little guardian statues that flank gods that I saw in one of Praveen's videos from Jalamandanji, Jamala-Anji.
Don't even try. Take it easy, man. You're gonna hurt you. Don't hurt yourself. You're doing some mental gymnastics there.
And so, what I noticed that this statue was concealing was a highly detailed tridactyl face.
Oh, look at that. I mean, that could be some pareidolia, though. I mean, everybody has like
you could say pareidolia, but it's awfully specific with two eyes, supraorbital arches.
In that region, they do put the face on the chest and the stomach area. They do double up on
and then if
animal faces and everything.
And when you look across the board, if you look closely at some of these Egyptian statues, they too appear to seem to have faces made up of their chests using the arms, the space between the arms, end up making the eyes. There even appears to be snouts involved.
Do you know why they do that?
I have a theory.
It's like a spirit being within themselves. Whenever they put like a another
again, you know,
part-
in some cultures, spirit is just another living thing. That's one of those great grand examples that I think people may have gotten misinterpreted with, and now spirits become something
demonic
or ethereal.
Yeah, they start talking about being possessed because
We
they
got
have
Carl
something inside
dropping
of
a
them.
message. Some of these describe very similar structured beings as tridactyls. I hope I said that right. Is it structure?
Welcome,
Was the
Carl.
word you were looking for, Carl? Yeah, thanks for dropping by and saying hello. Yeah, so Praveen, that was one of the things I caught. Yeah, I believe that's a little bit more than, personally, I think that's a little bit more than. Did I bring this up today? Here's another thing. Yeah, sure, you can say this is definitely pareidolia, but where does pareidolia come from then? That's the next question. Why would we experience that pareidolia? Did I ever tell you what a teacher told me pareidolia was meant for? That's the crazy thing. Years ago, like maybe 2001, I think it was, I was taking a philosophy class. Coincidentally, the guy that was teaching the philosophy class was also, I didn't even know it at the time, the director of the museum I was working at, or I was going to work at in the future. And so what he told me was, in philosophy class, that pareidolia is nature's subconscious way of making sure that humanity doesn't kill cute little things with big eyes. That's awfully pertinent to what we're talking about. Little beings with big eyes.
It really depends on the culture, though.
Well, maybe, but that's what his assertion was. That's why
How do
we
you-
have pareidolia.
How do you explain that to headhunters in the Amazon rainforest?
Oh, I can. Because headhunting isn't about, it's not about the enemy. It's about the, like you said, the spirit, the knowledge, no, it's not an aggressive thing. It's about holding on to what I understand is it's to ensure that the spirits don't haunt them later on, and that you take in their spiritual essence. So why would you want to take on the essence of something unless you consider them? So
different strokes,
some sort of power,
different strokes. You know, we were talking about the other day rebirth, and I wish Rebirth was here. We were talking about Africa and the Sahara Desert and how Africa made some major changes in the last 4,000 years. And there was a writer that did some boots on the ground, like traveled all over Africa and found evidence that Africa over 4,000, like 7,000 to 4,000 years ago, between that time period, it was green. Like,
sure,
literally green, like trees and all that. And we had people coming on, and literally there were people getting on. It's like, we want proof of that. We need references. We need proof. I'm like, well, here's the writer. No, we need more than that. You know. So yeah, look, I'm over here looking for more proof. Like, okay, here's this guy and here's this guy.
Well, that's the other thing. You can only provide so much proof because people are still gonna.
But I had to look for geology proof because geologists have actually talked about how Africa underwent changes, and actually throughout the whole world, they underwent major changes because of the gravity of the earth. It shifted. The North Pole and the South Pole shifted slightly, and it moved. Now I beg the question from Rebirth: what you take away from one part of the earth, you give on the other part of the earth. It's not like you give all that is green and then all of a sudden everything else is green. No, it doesn't work that way. You take away from one area and you're giving in another area. There's going to be a desert somewhere.
Well, I always like to talk about Mega Lake Gobi. So the Gobi Desert is a desert now, but at one time that was a subtropical region that experienced monsoon weather.
And
so
what was a desert then?
It was like a mini Africa.
Yeah. But if the Sahara Desert was not a desert, then what was a desert in Africa? If not Africa, where else was a desert? It's a scale. There's a scale. And all throughout history, that scale was emphasized so much, especially in death. It was explained that there's always a scale and it's never unbalanced. So that scale needs to be balanced all the time. It doesn't matter if it's even in death or in life. It's always balanced. And if it's unbalanced, that means it's the end of everything,
But let's take a look at a couple of these implants from our friends.
Let me finish real quick.
And Montserrat. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me finish real quick with the giants. So with the giants, they traveled from Turkey, and we found out, and and basically I found out, and
anytime someone says basically, I want to let you know that it's a red flag word for me. That means bullshit.
Oh yeah. All right.
Basically means not true. That's every time I hear basically.
It is bullshit. The bullshit that I received was that the distance between Turkey and Israel is 800 miles.
Okay.
That's the bullshit. But the real distance between Turkey and Israel is over 2,000 miles.
What do you mean? Why are you bringing this up? Why are you bringing up wrong information? I don't understand.
It is not wrong information because the terrain, if you walk the terrain from Turkey,
it would be a 2,000. So it's 800 as the crow flies, is what you're saying.
Yeah, a giant is not going to fly, unless he's flying dragon.
But a giant's going to have to make less steps, so a mile doesn't feel the same to him.
But they have to walk like around.
So that means they cross an area probably twice as fast as we do.
Remember, they got to drink a lot of water too, so they have to maintain their.
Well, this is assuming that giants were even real, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have to.
I am super. Giants. I'm sorry, is one of those things that I'm super skeptical of. It's like, show me the body.
That's another thing. If there is somebody hoarding all these giant bodies and just keeps hiding them every single time somebody finds them,
why would they do that?
Why would they do that? Why is this like this? Why is this a thing? Why do they keep doing that? Why do they want to hide history from the rest of the world?
So what is your final point about the giants? Kind of lose it on the giants.
Oh no, that's why I wanted to explain that. People think that giants, were making a beaming, like they beamed themselves straight to a certain location. They traveled.
I told you what giants could mean, something simply originating from the earth.
Oh, that
that's the whole, that Jaya part is kind of like saying like geographic or geologic. It's like saying geoant.
Well, I also wanted to bring up that AI actually admitted that they exist too when we were communicating.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. At the very end, I communicated. I says, "Look, I because you have to talk to AI and you just keep on talking, and then all of a sudden it says, and then at the end I says, do they exist with all the input I put into it?" Historically, with all the evidence that I just gave to you, do they exist? And then it finally just kicked in and says, yeah, they exist. With everything that has been shown, with all the artifacts and everything like that, they do. But it is very difficult to prove because none of the artifacts have been able to be shown.
Well, I mean, there have been tall humans. Obviously, there's Andre the Giant and the gentleman in the the Guinness Book of World Records. So I mean,
There's a lot. There's a bunch of people.
are those
that have
giants or are
been
those just
eyewitness.
humans? And so, like
Oh.
you said, maybe it's culturally perspective. You know, I'm
Why-
sure when the Mediterranean people met the Germans of the north, they probably seemed like giants to them. I mean, where are some of the tallest people? They're in what, Scandinavia and Sweden and Norway?
Yeah, the same argument with you, with your hybrids, with the Tridactyls. Why not? There's hybrid giants.
I don't know. Unfortunately, what I think most people are basing their evidence of giants on is some blurb in the Bible, and I think that's what people are relying on.
Why can't we have our hybrid giants and you only have your hybrid Tridactyls? I bring it back around, buddy. We want our hybrid giants, but you could only have your hybrid Tridactyls. That's not fair. You can't be selfish.
So here's a question from Carl Upa. That's out of place artifacts. Do we have any connections with out of place artifacts? I'm actually having a little bit of cerveza now. I'm making a michelada. So I salt the rim, put a little spicy tomato juice in it. So yeah, Carl's in Australia though, are you, Carl? Is that correct? I'm sure you guys know how to drink a beer or two in Australia. Hey, I wanted to show you guys something. Let's look at this. These implants. Yeah, man. You talk about evidence. You're gonna have to bring in some evidence for giants because, to me, the images I've seen of giants, they have serpentine legs.
There's a big giant femur right here.
So yeah, here's an image of Montserrat's implant and Sebastian's neck implant, which is interesting because the god Set was said to appear a golden disc on his head after being impregnated by Horus. So is this the god Set with the golden disc upon its head? Because Montserrat is with child. New Zealand. Actually, we have a buddy in New Zealand.
The Maoris.
We have
I love
a buddy
Maori
in
people.
New Zealand. Actually, I don't really talk to him too much anymore. Murray Milne, I think his name is. He was doing some acting work over here in South Florida with us. He had to move all his motorcycles to New Zealand.
Is he not part Maori or is he just?
Murray is not part Maori. No. I think he's Scottish.
Scottish. He's purely white.
Yeah. He's
100%.
An invading colonizer. But of course, the Maori I like because of their.
I've seen white kids join in the cultural.
Sure. Yeah, it's a masculine. It's a masculine event. Those Maori hakas.
Hell yeah, man! And the tattooing is amazing.
It's one of the reasons why I like to go to the Maikai because they have all of that cultural stuff there.
Let me ask you, why don't we see tattooing on the Tridactyls? That's another question that I have.
Because tattooing is emulation of the Tridactyl skin.
Why not the other way around?
They already have their patterns. The Tridactyl skin have cross-hatching patterns on their skin. And then I've seen the cross-hatching pattern on Naga tribes of Southeast Asia. So yeah, here's 3 of my favorite artifacts. I think some of the
so the Tridactyls don't mark themselves. They are already.
Yeah, they're already marked. They have a cross-hatching pattern. They have the furcula that you can see coming through, which I also think is tattooed on these Naga tribes.
I like the one on the left side. That looks so similar to the Tridactyls.
Yes. Yeah, so that's the tiki of the Maori, and you can find all different versions of that tiki. Some even seem to appear hybrids. Look, there's even like a little cloaca.
Look at the 3 fingers on it. Is it?
Yeah.
How can that not be a Tridactyl? That's a Tridactyl right there.
And I even think this one in the middle has got very hyper realistic looking.
This one I made a T-shirt out of. Remember the T-shirt that I made?
I don't.
The one in the middle, I actually made a 3D T-shirt with.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was enchanted by this one. This is the Dogu.
And then the eye idols, there's tons of those. It seems as though that the Telbrak Eye Goddess Temple was almost like a tourist spot. And I think what would happen is kind of what we're seeing today. People would make their emulations of, like, you would like go to the Comic-Con and be like, hey, Captain Kirk, look at this doll I made of you. And I think what people were doing is they were making their own icons of the gods, and they were bringing them to the temple as like a donation, like a dedication. We can probably look to see if there are more eye idols. Here they are.
What the heck is that on the left? Look, I'm sorry. That looks like an anchor for a boat.
Well, it is associated with these same artifacts here.
That looks like a cartoon, honestly.
They do. They look cartoonish, like to the point of like some of these were like eyewitness accounts.
It looks so cartoonish.
And you can see this one here has like the child at its. I mean, but like this one here looks to me like it looks cartoonish, but again, like to the point of like someone.
You know what that reminds me of?
The
paperclip.
The old paperclip from Windows.
Yeah, the Windows paperclip. Does that not look like the Windows paperclip?
Let's see if I had more of the Maori tiki. I guess I don't.
You should put the Windows paperclip next to it.
So yeah, good stuff. What time is it anyway? I think I'm gonna do my Tridactyl head giveaway.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
When are you gonna get more of the full body?
Well, so the plan is to take that to my model maker, and then he is going to make a fiberglass mold of the body. Okay, and it'll be like 2 pieces. I don't know how. Actually, I'm not sure how it works, to be honest. It's either 2 pieces up top to bottom, probably, but I don't know if he's going to do this one different. I might.
Why don't you make them into like the arm, the legs, into?
Yeah, that's a good idea. But he's going to make the full body. And imagine making this out of like a rubber, a latex. He'd be like wiggle it around.
How about if you join Tridactyls.com and subscribe, you get a leg and 1 month. And
well, I would definitely like to do some sort of a giveaway, like a raffle or something for a full body. I think that would be pretty popular.
That's a pretty big body. I'm going to tell you right now. Shipping a whole body is going to cost you quite a bit because the length of it is.
Yeah, I mean it's light as hell, but you'd want it long and you'd want it packed well because they're brittle. You know, that's the other good thing about once the mold is made, that plasticine, whatever it is they use, I can't remember the term, is much tougher than the 3D printer.
USPS is going to charge you like $60 to ship that length.
Do you believe this guy? I got to really thank a shout out to my ex for making this for me. That was real nice of her. Oh man, I love it. And I really want to, after he makes the mold, I want to have it painted, you know.
Find out the best price for shipping on a box and see
you always jump ahead. It's like we don't even have the body yet, and you want to like find out the price of shipping.
Figure out the link.
Who are we mailing it to? You, I guess.
Hell yeah! Number one, baby, the first person.
Man,
I'm jumping in. One of one.
Like, figure out how much it costs. I'm like, boy, we're not even there yet.
You need to sign it.
You're like, who did that? Who is guilty? All right.
I'm gonna flip it too. I'm gonna sell it on eBay.
Yeah, do it. Why not? I think eBay might be the best place for it too, because you would probably get, the money would go up.
I'm probably gonna get arrested by Peru.
Yeah, well, you never know, right? That's the other thing. It's like, do we really have
yeah, I'm gonna get arrested. I'm gonna be flying one day. They're gonna arrest me. And they're
So
gonna say, "This is a fake doll."
here's some of our numbers. And then let's see. Did I already close my dice window? I had the window open. Go figure, right? So, Google has dice, guys. So if you ever want to play Dungeons and Dragons online, I'll show you the screen here. All you got to do is type in Google Dice. Pretty cool stuff. Let's see. Let's try 2, 4. Let's do a couple more. All right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We're going to roll 12 different dice here.
Right. Here we go. Here we go.
And you can see all the winners. Reds are winners and yellows have also won. Here's the numbers. Let's see. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on. I got to share the whole screen.
Oh, there's my name up there. I'm a winner. Fat Jesus.
You're a wiener.
I'm a wiener.
You're a wiener. Okay, hold on. Let's try it again. Entire screen. Boom. All right. Here we go.
Here we go. You
guys see those numbers? Maybe
Let's
I can
go,
make
everybody.
it a little bit better so we can see the bottom numbers.
Did
Right?
Carl get one already?
Yep.
All right. Did you send it?
I don't know how good it came out, to be honest. It would be nice if
He's all the way in New Zealand.
I know. Yeah, the overseas shipping costs it's been costing $20 for the little heads, $10 domestic. Here we go. First number, 53. Do we have a 53? Camille already won. 76. Do we have a 76? Let's see. I can't see the number.
Yellow is that they won?
Yellow won also. Yeah, yellow. Red's already got theirs. Elizabeth's already won. How about 99? I don't think that's been called yet.
What's 99? I can't
actually,
see
did
it.
99 win too? Yeah, Wolf won 99. Okay, how about a 50? That's why I roll a whole bunch at once. 50's already won.
Yeah.
73. Oh, 73 was a number that was already
73.
97 already won. Oh, see, we got to roll again. Wow, that's why I have to do even more than this many dice. 57 already won. 27 already won. 32. Dryer Youngest. Okay. Dryer Youngest is on
Bingo.
Reddit. Dryer Youngest is on Reddit. If anybody sees him, we'll give him a yellow highlight. All right. Another wiener.
Congratulations.
Awesome. You can see the numbers are dropping, right? There's only a few more people. This contest is almost over.
That's what you get.
Awesome. So I'm probably going to end the stream early tonight. So what else you want to talk about?
You were going to show a map of the location.
That's right. Good call. Thank you.
The other day, we had a follower asking the location of the Tridactyls and where the looters were looting and digging up the Tridactyls in Peru, and we have an idea of where the Tridactyls were being dug up. So I think what it is that people think this is a myth and that they're not really getting dug up from the ground, that they're just being made, and they're being made in a shop, and it's just inventive that they're being dug up, and for them to know that they're being dug up out of the ground, it's more of a reality than it is so if we can pinpoint the location of and they're not all going to be in one spot, they're going to be spread out throughout that whole region in that area. So it's these looters, they spend a lot of time looking in those areas, and it's not going to be like a temple or something like that.
No, but there is something called the Citadel that they claim that they have been investigating in Peru. Okay, so we have my map up here. I call this file my Nagaloka. Nagaloka is a term for the Naga land or Naga location. That's where we get the word location or locale from the Indo-Aryan loka. And you can see over here in Asia, I've just marked a bunch of saltwater lakes. I've marked Naga temples. I've marked early man locations. And so let's go ahead to South America. Okay.
Man, that Pacific Ocean is huge.
And guess what? I bragged all about this. And actually, I think I have the the Naga, excuse me, the Nazca cave on a different map. So hold on. That was a psych out. I think I started the map Tridactyl. I started this thing called Tridactyl sites. There we go. So this is the supposed. That's probably why we don't see it too often, because I don't show this particular. Oh, see, I started to map the petroglyphs, and it became so overwhelming that there were so many petroglyphs around the world showing Tridactyls, and I noted that somebody else had already done it. That I'm like, okay, let's move on to something else. All right, here we go. Back to South America, and we have.
All right.
Right here. So let's get our bearings. So here's Nazca, and we can actually draw a map from Nazca proper to here. So what's that in miles? So 21 miles away is a supposed cave. Now, part of the mythology is that you can see the ocean from this cave. Oh, what is that there? So this is the latitude and longitude that was provided, that supposedly the Tridactyls were found.
Any buildings in that area? Like farms or anything?
There's these definitely some strange lines and bare patches.
Man, that is rural. There is a road there though.
There is a road.
It's a dirt road.
I would be curious too, are these any of these dried up lakes or bodies of water? Like that's what that looks like, right?
What's that up
Because
there?
they would want that as a
go back in. Go back in.
they would want a
Go
body of
north.
water if they were actually
Go left. Go left.
amphibians.
No, right there in the mountain. There's like etching on the mountain right there. Is those caves?
Yeah, I mean, there could very well be caves in those regions.
Yeah, those are
right?
caves right there. Yeah, those are caves. See that? Look at those caves. Those are caves. They're like cracks. They're like cracks in the walls that go in.
So the question is, can we see the ocean?
No.
I don't think so. There it is.
Oh, from there? You got to
Right.
be really high up.
This might be an alternative site. Here, let's see.
What's that? Water?
I don't know. It's awfully blue. So yeah, one of the reports was that supposedly you could see the ocean from one of the caves. That was another indicator. So interesting, huh? Very cool stuff. So we'll have to see if we can get more data from people as to where this thing actually is, right?
That'll be interesting to see the actual locations where they're dug up, because if we have if that's more of a reality to people, then people will get the idea out of their heads that they're being manufactured at people's houses.
Head was great. Great conversation starter. Cheers. Definitely a good conversation starter. Good. Glad to hear it. Show it to the Maori. So that's what they think. And it says here, was there over 100 of these Tridactyl mummy figures found? I mean, there are reports of hundreds or even thousands. That's going to really skew the data in our favor. In fact, we're waiting for those 6 DNA tests to come in, because that is going to skew the data in towards authenticity and demonstrating that these things were once real living things.
As you can see, the area that we were looking at, it's just a small area. And then we're like, that's not even, that's a little piece of Peru. That's like a tiny little, that doesn't even cover the majority of everything. So it's like there's a lot of mummies that have not been uncovered, just very few of them. And these looters don't have the tools or the technology to find the Tridactyls. They're just looking around and they're just picking the ones that the weather has uncovered itself. You know,
So I think there might be multiple sites, because there appears to be conflicting accounts. I didn't want to show everybody, though, that these are slightly different, but yet we got the size pretty good, didn't we?
Yeah, that looks good. I mean, they're all different too. Each Tridactyl, they're not the same. I mean, it would be really weird if every Tridactyl was the same, because you and I are different. Our skulls are different. You know, every human
Exactly.
being is different.
And then you combine that with the various hybridization amounts of primate, they're all going to look different. Well, I am going to wrap up early tonight. So thank you for coming. We've been here for an
Definitely.
hour. And hopefully I'll see you online. If anybody's interested, I will be starting a sci-fi Dungeons and Dragons game. So let me know if you're interested in playing. Maybe it'd be a good a fundraiser.
He's really getting into it too. Professor
I love
Acosta
game
built the
creation.
whole
It's
thing.
really gotten fun. Yeah, I've got it's like 86 pages, but the size of a phone. So I've made it purposely. I've formatted it so people can look at the game rules on their phone.
Can't get the nerd out of him, that's for sure.
That's right. Like, this is just, I think Dungeons and Dragons prepared me for the Tridactyls. All right. Live long and prosper. You too, Fat Jesus. I'm going to dip.
You too.
All right. I'll see you online. Talk to you later. Thanks.